Moes. I'm here again with Sam Krohlow. We're watching the TokyoMTG Vintage Open at GP Nagoya, which was held April 11th, 2014. We're watching the round 2 matchup here. We're going to have Belcher on the left and Bug Control on the right. Both players are shuffling down, getting ready to go to game 1. I'd say I'm pretty excited about getting to watch Belcher here. I think I have a long history with that deck, and I'm always interested to see it play and see what other people have done with it.
Yeah, I think you're the person who I know that's played Belcher the most in Vintage.
Yeah, I probably am.
Is this more of a standard red-green Belcher list, or does he play... I guess he does play tutors.
Yeah, he's got tutors. It looks like a black, red, green version.
I'm not sure if he's playing Dark Rituals or not, though. I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's usually the big determinant. I didn't see any blue cards from him other than Gitaxian Probe.
Yeah.
The Gitaxian Probe is such a huge boon for Belcher, just because you get to see what hate cards you have to play around. Really not very much cost to yourself. I mean, you're losing 2 life, but you're also just going to draw the card back too. So.
Assuming Spirit Guide's out, I believe that's a Mana Vault, and then plays a Lotus Petal.
Yep.
Mana Vault being very good in Belcher.
Right, and he did open with Gitaxian Probe, and he did that his opponent would have a Force of Will on his first turn.
Yeah, I believe he had like a Snapcaster, a Force of Will. Those are the only ones I remember.
But, yeah, he's gonna open with Empty the Warrens. That'll be Force Storm. He had Gitaxian Probe, Vault, Petal, and then Empty the Warren. Oh no, it's 5. Does he have 2?
Oh yeah, 2 probes. That's what it was.
Yeah, he had two Gitaxian Probes.
Yep. So the Belcher player would be at 16 life then.
Yep. His opponent debating whether he wants to force one of those copies or save the force for later. I think in this case you probably go for it.
Yeah, his opponent has no cards in hand at this point.
Yeah, his opponent's not really going to be able to fuel up and try and play another threat. So.
Yep, especially with that mana vault.
Belcher's going to end the turn with 8 goblins in play, and his passed. His opponent answered with Deathrite Shaman, which is actually a really good card here because the extra toughness will hold out to block and survive against the goblin.
Belcher player is at 15 life from the mana vault now.
Right. And what else are you going to do? Get in there. Bug player is going to take 7, block one of the tokens. Good turn.
Have you figured out what's the optimal number of goblins to make sure you get there?
I mean, it's always best to have at least 10.
Yeah, I feel like 10's the magic number.
That's what you want because it gives you a 10-turn or a 2-turn clock rather.
Okay.
And, I mean,
and if they slow you up, it's 3 turns then.
You really have to sort of go with what you have. Like 6 is probably minimum just because if your opponent fetches a couple of times or I don't know. There's plenty of spells that will cause them to lose a life or 2, and that at least keeps it a 3-turn clock, total of 18. So.
Yep. Did he drop a Snapcaster to block an additional goblin there?
You can see that. I don't think so.
Okay. I zoned out and wasn't paying attention for a minute.
Yeah. But he's got 2 Deathrite Shamans in play.
Yeah, he's got a Snapcaster in the yard. I think that's what he did.
Okay.
Yeah, because now he's down to 5 goblins, so he blocked with 2 were blocked that turn.
Okay, yeah. You got 2 Deathrite Shamans on board. That'll really slow the. I mean, that probably stonewalls the Belcher player right now. He's not going to be able to attack through that and actually deal lethal damage. So.
Yep.
The Belcher player right now is going to be on draw go until he finds another threat.
The green Deathrite Shaman ability removes a creature, correct?
Yeah, it removes a creature.
Okay, and he does have Snapcaster in the yard, so he can gain 2 life here if he
Right.
wants.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean all the abilities on Snapcaster are relevant right now.
On Deathrite Shaman, you mean?
On Deathrite Shaman, yeah, sorry. Keep attacking though, because why not?
What other choice do you have?
Yeah, if you just sit there, Deathrite will get you anyways. The best Planeswalker ever printed. Well, best 1 mana Planeswalker.
Yeah, who said they wouldn't print a 1 mana Planeswalker?
Right. So, I mean, Bug here is just gonna sit and play defense, really. Like, all he has to do is make sure he can answer one threat that the Belcher players play.
Yep.
And,
at this point, with 3 goblins left, he's supposed to stabilize.
Like, it's gonna be really hard for him to lose.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
long as he has a force of will in hand or something.
Yeah. Yep, he did remove that Snapcaster to gain 2 life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly the life total of the Belcher player, but he's been losing 1 life every turn. He's probably below 10 at this point.
Yeah.
He does have quite a grip of cards right now, though.
Yeah, obviously, he's only drawing and not playing, so.
Yep. He cracks the Lotus Petal for a Rite of Flame.
Oh, he's got, that's Manamorphose there.
Oh, okay, that's the Modern Master's art.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the Modern Master art is confusing for me because I'm so used to the other one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he Manamorphosed is there and draws another. He's gonna go for it. He's got the Spirit Guide and
So he's up to
Seething Song. So he's got five red mana in the pool. And Belcher.
unfortunately only 5 mana.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to be able to activate here. Opponent is going to...
The coast was clear too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting pretty low in life now at this point, though.
Yeah. Yeah, his opponent dealt him 2 there with the Deathrite Shaman.
It appears that he's just given up at attacking at this point,
Yeah.
which is probably relatively pointless if you're only going to deal 1 damage.
Right, yeah.
At least this way, if his opponent decides to start attacking with Death Rights, he can slow the bleeding.
Yeah, you can block. So, I mean, Belcher player has Belcher in play. I mean, if his opponent passes back and he top decks well, we could...
Yeah.
No, I guess he's got no mana in play right now.
Yeah. He is live at this point. Black Lotus wins him the game.
Yeah, Black Lotus and Line Down as well.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
And I'm not sure what his last card in the hand is, but it could make a difference.
Is that a Mox Opal?
Well, he does attack. Get in for 2.
Get there. Luckily, the Spirit Guides are removed from the game, so his opponent can't use Deathrite Shaman on them.
Well, I don't think he's trying to gain life at this point. I think he'd rather just finish the game by
Yeah.
just to his opponent. Like,
Yep. He has stabilized at this point, so
yeah,
life gain's irrelevant.
right. I mean, we're more worried about the Belcher going off than
Yep.
actually trying to gain life against those goblins. The goblins aren't a threat anymore.
I'm not sure if he's playing any lands in the Belcher deck or not. I haven't seen land, right?
Yeah, we haven't him. Not a thing necessarily want to see. I mean, my opinion is that vintage Belcher doesn't need the land.
Okay.
I know in Legacy, I think you still have to play a Taiga.
Yeah, just because you're so many fewer 0 mana sources, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And the other thing is that Taiga is a permanent mana source, which is something a lot of, I mean, the legacy decks are really lacking. I mean, you have Lotus Petal and Spirit Guides as 0 mana sources, but they don't stick around. So you really have to have the extra cards available to keep them.
Yeah. Being able to cast Belcher and then untap and activate it on your next turn.
Right, yeah, play it on your activating creature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Abrupt King?
Yeah, you Abrupt King the Mox there.
Yep, I think this game is just about finished.
Like a good flat eye. Go for Black Lotus.
One time.
Yeah, right. Got enough damage here. Processing.
Bug player is stuck on only 1 black mana source, so
Yeah,
Death Ray Shaman isn't going very fast.
You can end the game a lot quicker here.
Yeah.
That's right. Because there's plenty of fuel in the graveyard.
Yeah.
There we go. It's going to be another black source.
Woohoo! That's why he didn't attack. I believe he's at 6 life, the bug player.
Okay.
So, the goblins got close.
Yeah, that's not close enough, though.
Yep. Yeah, 1 more spell, and I think the Belcher player would have had it with the Empty the Wands.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the 10 is really critical to get. I mean, well, not critical necessarily, but it is the best number to get simply because you're. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna scoop phase here, but that 10 really makes a difference. If you have 10, you're in good shape to win without your opponent finding an answer. Well, another one bites the dust. Yeah, I mean, Belcher is such a hard deck to play against blue. I mean, you really have to. I mean, you have a lot of threats, but compared to other combo decks, you don't reload as quickly usually, just because you don't have the kind of draw spells, cantrips. I mean, you're not playing preordains or anything. This Belcher player has tutors and things like that, but those aren't necessarily it's not necessarily equipped to use them the best as far as the combo deck goes. So
yeah. Whereas a deck like Burning Lung or something,
right.
You resolve a Wheel of Fortune, you have 7 cards again.
Right. Well, I'm sure the Belcher player probably has at least Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
But it really just comes down to being able to find and resolve all your spells. The Belcher is a pretty sort of all-in strategy where you're necessarily going to use up a bunch of cards just playing the first threat. Then if it gets countered, you'll have to build up a little bit again to play the next one.
Yep. I really wish we had this Belcher list, because Belcher lists vary so much depending on the build and vintage.
Right.
I know, like, when I played Belcher, I liked Tinker and stuff like that.
Right. Well, Tinker's like the 5th copy of Belcher, basically.
Yeah, exactly, and it's 1 mana cheaper.
Right. And I mean, every time I play Belcher in vintage, I play the straight red-green version with all the cantrips, and that's actually done pretty well for me.
It seems like the most consistent version.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't have to worry about getting more than 2 colors ever, you're doing pretty well. Your opening hands are just always really good looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when I played Belcher, I went a little riskier, and I was playing like 4 colors.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just have more big spells that way.
Yep. It's a little more inconsistent, but definitely more bomby.
Right.
I wonder if he's playing Burning Wish.
He might be. I know the classic wish in Belcher was Lit Wish, because you could go get lands.
Oh.
And you actually could go get creature answers to things. You could get Tin Street Hooligan or Scavenger Folk, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But you have Tolarian Academy, you can have Mission's Workshop, Bazaar in your guard. I mean, those are all... Those were all
really good.
Fuck yeah. And actually, when they printed...
was it Storm Entity?
Yeah, Storm Entity was actually a big change in that, because you could go to Storm Entity and have a pretty reasonable threat. I mean, at least you dodge some of the hate, like if they brought in like or something.
Yep. Is
Pyroclasm.
Storm Entity 2 counters for every spell you played?
No, it's just 1.
Oh, not quite as good as Empty.
Yeah, it's not quite as good, but it does have haste, which makes a big difference if you can play the Storm Entity.
Oh, that's true. So you get that extra turn out of it, essentially. But it is susceptible to Abrupt Decay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I definitely played with Storm Entities for a while. They were okay. They were never super excited. I've won games with them before. I've also won games with Days of Calamity, I guess. So it really doesn't say anything. Belcher's going to be on the play here. It looks like he's mulliganing. We go into 6, and Bug player is going to keep his 7.
Yeah, I know some Belcher lists sideboard in things like Goblin Welder for redundancy against Force of Will and such, but you and I know that that's not what he did.
I have Goblin Welder's main deck. I love that card.
Goblin Welder makes everything live in that deck.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it comes down to the amount of permanent mana you have. If you have 5 Moxes, Belcher's going to mulligan again to 5 here. If you have 5 Moxes plus Soul Ring and Mana Crypt, and Evolve, whatever else, you really have a lot of targets to well, way more than you do in Legacy version.
Yeah, that's very true.
Stick around. Even though in Legacy you have 4 Lion's Eye Diamonds, or you can play 4 Lion's Eye Diamonds, which is obviously a good combo with Belcher or Welder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have Lion's Eye Diamond, a Chrome Mox, Welder, something red to pitch to Chrome Mox and Belcher, like that's a second turn win easy, or if they don't counter LED or Welder. So Belcher looks like it's going to keep on 5 here. Let's see what he gets started with. Is Lotus Battle and Forbidden Orchard.
Yep, that's it.
And he's going to play Demonic Tutor. So this is interesting. I mean, we've watched this before. We realized that he's actually boarded in Oath. He's boarded in Oath of Druids. And that's why, I mean, that explains the Forbidden Orchards. Normally you wouldn't play more than 1 land, certainly not a play set of Forbidden Orchards.
Yep,
Your
exactly.
Belcher list, because that sort of makes Belcher fizzle. But
so I guess this means he probably sided out all of his Char Belchers and all of his Spirit Guides.
yeah, it's really hard to predict. I mean, I would assume that he sided out Spirit Guides, and so that would be 8 cards. He would bring in 4 Forbidden Orchards, 4 Oath of Druids, and then I assume you're bringing in some number of creatures, probably Grizzlebrand.
Oh yeah.
We can really only guess since we don't have the list, but it could be 2 Grizzlebrands maybe. I mean, that seems reasonable. And I mean, would you still play Belcher? I might. I mean, it's still a...
With 4 lands? You could. You had more permanent mana sources at that point.
Right, yeah. And I mean, you don't really want to play Empty the Warrens with Oath of Druids. I mean, that's not necessarily a combo, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if he's all in on the Oath plan now.
Yeah. So his opponent played mana, attacked with the Spirit God, passed.
I know the Belcher player has a Vampiric Tutor, an Oath of Druids, and I think a Gaia's Blessing in his hand. I think that's what that card is.
That would be another card that you reported in then, probably.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the fourth one is, though.
Yeah.
So he's short on mana. Oh, okay, he is a Krohlow. Or Mox Opal.
Yeah, that's Mox Opal. Opponent's a vampire character. Mox Opal, not really a threat here. I mean, it's without the other two boxes, it really doesn't do much. Or without the other two artifacts, really, it doesn't do much. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's always hard to gauge as an opponent, like whether you counter that or you just sort of wait and try and counter the third artifact.
Yeah, that's another good point. Because Mox Opal is very good when you have Metalcraft. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it's miserable when you don't.
Right, and I mean, Mox Opal and Chrome Mox both get beaten up by Ancient Grudge. I'm not sure that the Bug player would necessarily be playing Ancient Grudge here, but...
Yeah. I guess his opponent could have like an Abrupt Decay and try and spoil his day with that.
So the Bug player probably tutored for the Ancestral Recall that he's playing now. I mean, he might be digging for more answers, more counter threat. Now that he knows he's going to be playing against Oath, he might be sort of well, actually, you can only suspect that he knows he's playing against it. But,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a good idea.
Yeah, he might be in panic mode because of that. Suddenly you have to find answers for Oath and Druids rather than just...
Yep.
Belcher player is going for Vampire Tutor on opponent's end step.
That would drop him down to 16 life, I believe. 2 swings and a Vamp Tutor. There's the Bug player's at 18 from his Vamp Tutor. So we know he has Oath in hand. So I'm curious if he just goes for mana here. I think that's what he does.
Yeah, I think we really can't see that second card in his hand. I agree with you that it might be Gaia's Blessing. I mean, that seems like a reasonable thing to bring in.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
It's kind of a dead card in hand.
What does Gaia's Blessing actual ability do when you play it?
You can shuffle up to 3 cards from your graveyard into your deck, and then you draw a card. So it does cantrip.
Okay.
But, I mean, you really want it in Oath because it will shuffle your entire graveyard back into your library after you Oath, so it prevents you from decking yourself. Which actually is an interesting idea because you could play Laboratory Maniac.
Yeah.
No, he tutored. Looks like he tutored for Mox Sapphire there.
Yep, that's what he said.
Which will not only help with the Battlecraft, but also allow him to play the Oath. If he would have wanted to play last turn.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that he had to tutor for mana there.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because I would have considered going to get Black Lotus there if he does have Gaia's Blessing in hand, because he can tutor for Black Lotus and play
and then just cantrip a card.
Which will be cantrips and gets a mostly dead card out of your hand. Although I suppose if you have time to play Gaia's Blessing next turn, you can shuffle Oath back in and have an extra threat in your deck.
Yeah, because that would be kind of dangerous with Black Lotus, because then you would be back down to 1 mana source.
Right, yeah.
Whereas, okay, this Oath is getting Force of Will here.
Yeah, I think we're running down to the end of this match. I think Bug's probably going to take control here, especially if his opponent only has 1 card in hand, and it's a mostly useless card like Blessing.
Yeah.
And those Spirit tokens add up. They will continue to deal damage.
Yeah, it looks like he's giving him 1 every turn too.
Yeah. Well, his only mana source for several turns was the Forbidden Orchard.
3 damage.
Yep.
I believe he's down to 13 now. Time Walk?
Yeah, that's Time Walk.
I love Time Walk.
That Time Walk's so good. I think Time Walk is probably my favorite piece of the power.
Okay.
I think I tend to play decks use Time Walk more than other cards. I mean, when you're talking about having Dark Confidant or Jace in play, I mean, any creatures are better with Time Walk. So.
Yeah, Time Walk is probably the main reason I play Delver decks in Vintage every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Being able to attack with a Delver, Time Walk, and like Snapcaster, Time Walk.
Yeah. You're gonna play Snapcaster here. I think you guys is gonna go for Ancestral. We played that earlier. Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't have the mana to Time Walk.
Yeah, I know.
And we had no plays from the Belcher player that turn.
Yep, that was Drago. It sort of indicates to me that he might not have had Gaia's Blessing.
Yeah, I feel like he would have cast it at that point.
Because you kind of have to see what you're gonna get. I mean, it's
yep.
Yeah,
and then Bug player Demonic tutored for a Black Lotus to Snapcaster Time Walk there.
Yeah, that's game. So, Belcher. No.
Okay. And it's